내가 아니랬지.
A series of images showing all kinds of scientific torture to children all over the world.
In the present, Dr. Bick visits a laboratory where a massacre has just happened. They tried to kill all the kids because their generation was a big success. They were able to control things and had a very high intelligence. The higher-ups were afraid with the creation because they were worried that they couldn't control them, so Dr. Bick was ordered to decommission all of them. 2 kids successfully escape from the facility and are being chased by Dr. Bick's men. One of them manages to capture one of the escaped kids, but the other one, who is a girl, is still missing.
She complains about the loss of the girl. They decide to leave the girl out, believing that she won't survive for long.
Dr. Bick orders Mr. Choi to report the little girl to the HQ as decommissioned, since she will eventually die on the run. A farmer spots the girl unconscious and immediately takes her to his house. The doctor says that she will recover, but the girl will lose her memories, including her name and age. Since the wife is having a hard time getting pregnant, they decide to adopt her. 10 years later, the girl, Jae-yoon, is living a normal life as the farmer's daughter without remembering her past. Jae-yoon's mom is suffering from Alzheimer's disease, and her family is facing a financial problem.
Jae-yoon drives and does the family chores due to her parents' delicate condition. During the family dinner, news reports of an alleged murder of a geneticist and negative events in the livestock economy cause Mr. Koo to question whether to sell some of his cattle. That same night, Jae-yoon suffers from a terrible headache after taking a shower, and then researches Alzheimer's online to know more about her mother's condition. The next day, Jae-yoon meets her friend Do Myung-hee at the bus stop. On the road, Myung-hee tells Jae-yoon about a TV contest called Birth of a Star, which offers $500,000 as the top prize, and says that the money could help her support her family's livestock and improve her mother's health. Jae-yoon auditions for the contest.
Despite having no ability to sing, she eventually passes the preliminary stage as the candidate with the highest score. At home, her parents are very proud of her, but they are worried when Jae-yoon was told to perform her secret talent in the audition. Myung-hee ensures the parents that nothing bad will happen.
The phone rings, Myung-hee answers, only for the speaker to go silent. When Myung-hee goes to sleep, Mr. and Mrs. Koo talk to Jae-yoon about the dangers of exposing herself too much to the public.
While Myung-hee is having a sleepover, the severe headache occurs again. On the other side, Mr. Choi is secretly watching her from a distance. The next day, they take a train to Seoul to join the next phase of the audition,
sharing boiled eggs that Jae-yoon promptly devours. They are interrupted by the laughter of a mysterious boy sitting across, who claims to know Jae-yoon, even calling her by the nickname Ms. Witch. He goes so far as to intimidate her, telling Jae-yoon that there's no need to hide any secrets, speaking in English, but soon the boy realizes that Jae-yoon doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. To check his suspicions, the boy almost slaps Jae-yoon, but stops his hand just before impact, detecting something that leaves Jae-yoon crying.
He goes away and says they will meet again. As he walks away, he collides with someone and insults him. Unhappy, the other guy tries to attack him. The young man eliminates him and then throws the corpse off the train. They arrive at the studio, and Jae-yoon's outstanding performance eventually allows her to advance to quarterfinals. They are very happy with the result, but as soon as they get out, Jae-yoon suffers the headache again. It even causes a nosebleed. She once visited a doctor who said that the headache will take her life within 2 to 3 months, and a bone marrow transplant from her biological parents is the only way to save her. Meanwhile, Dr. Bick, who watches the performance on television, is very happy,
marveling at how the missing girl managed to survive in the end. Myung-hee finds Jae-yoon and tells her that they must return to the train. They try to take a cab, but instead, a car parks in front of them, with bad-looking guys surrounding them. They claim to know Jae-yoon, but thanks to some kids passing by, the girls manage to distract the men and get into a cab,
then taking a train to return home. While Myung-hee is calling her dad for a ride, a young man shows up and threatens her, saying that he is gonna kill her parents. Jae-yoon immediately runs towards her house while telling her best friend to call for assistance. Myung-hee's dad, Mr. Do, is a police officer, and he decides to stop by Jae-yoon's house. Officer Do arrives and politely asks for their ID.
Upon arrival, the girls don't find Officer Do, and Jae-yoon detects danger inside the house, only to find her parents and the officers playing in the living room, with no sign of the mystery boy. As they say goodbye, Officer Do asks Jae-yoon if she knows the guys from before, commenting that they are actually Americans. Ja-hoon tells him that she doesn't, and that she might have been mistaken for someone else. In the next scene, a man goes to a rural resort with his driver. When he arrives, he finds the dead bodies of his family in the greenhouse, and the mysterious guys being the killers.
Turns out that he was a co-worker of Dr. Bick, and he refused to cooperate, so they were sent over by her to kill him.
The driver goes to the man's rescue with a gun, but he's also intercepted by the mysterious boy, who injured him off-screen. The helpless driver tries to defend himself.
The young man shows off his skill that allows him to control a human's mind, and uses a gun without touching it.
He uses some sort of telekinesis to trigger the gun in front of him, and causing the driver to shoot himself against his will. The group set the place on fire and drives off. The next day, Dr. Beek reads in the news how a gene researcher died with her family in a house fire. She discusses with Mr. Choi about the girl's situation and tells him not to worry for her, even though he wants to do something about it.
Dr. Bick orders him not to interfere with her business again. He is unhappy with the decision. He warns her that Jae-young is a monster and she must be killed, but Dr. Bick is not willing to do so. Mr. Choi secretly meets up with a professor who can help him to cure his disease, but Mr. Choi has to kill Jae-young and brings him her head.
Bring her brain to study her special condition. Meanwhile, Myung-hee discusses the possibility of a fan club for Ja-yoon and her future stardom over family dinner, but everything is interrupted when Mrs. Koo wonders why she and her husband are eating together with a couple of strangers, wanting to know where their daughter had gotten to. Her mother's condition has worsened to the point of not recognizing her.
That night, Jae-young awakens from her sleep, crying in agony as a severe headache occurs again. Dr. Bick's men sneak into the house and threaten Jae-young's mom with a gun. She immediately gets up. As soon as she leaves her bedroom, she learns that she has been surrounded. She keeps begging until one of the men hurts her best friend.
Ja-yoon manages to wriggle free of her shooter, and uses his gun to kill all the mercenaries there. Now she takes on the leader on her own, defeating him easily. Ja-yoon kills the man and feels herself awakening from a trance, only to find a fearful Myung-hee by her side.
After she eliminates the last man, the young man shows up and is amazed with Jae-young's real ability. The young man explains that Jae-young was built differently. She still doesn't remember who the man is. He then shows her the scar in his forehead. She did that to him.
Ja-yoon doesn't really know what the young man is talking about, so he ends up believing her and asks her to accompany them to recover her memories. Despite her friend's advice not to go, Ja-yoon agrees to go, under the threat that if she doesn't, they'll kill everyone she knows.
Mr. Choi gathers all the field agents and is ready to assassinate the girl. It is revealed that Jae-young deliberately chose her foster parents. It was already well planned.
They take Ja-yoon to an abandoned complex, the one that used to house her and the other special children. Ja-yoon is placed in a glowing experimentation room, where she hears Dr. Beek's voice.
She feels so relieved after knowing that Jae-young is still alive. However, Jae-young still has no idea what's happening. To make her remember all the past, Dr. Bick orders his man to inject a liquid to her. It is revealed that she was one of the experiment subjects where Dr. Bick was in charge of that brain experiment. Jae-young was one of his best engineered products she has ever created. Jae-young was specially trained by her to be a cold-blooded killing machine. In the beginning of the movie, they tried to kill all the kids because their generation was a big success.
Her plan at the time was to train a series of gifted children as weapons, but there was a change of plans when she learned of the side effects that children went through when they were transplanted with modified physical genes. The children began to become aggressive, and were harder to contain.
The higher-ups were afraid with the creation because they were worried that they couldn't control them, so Dr. Bick was ordered to decommission all of them.
Ja-yoon was the closest specimen to perfection, but fearing that she was going to get out of control, HQ wanted her and other children erased, ending Dr. Beek's research.
Jae-young was special at that time, and all of her men were unable to kill her, since the headache will eventually kill her if untreated in the right way, and her condition is getting worse. The professor orders the man to inject another serum to her, allowing her to unleash full strength for only a month.
Ja-yoon is in agony, and they end up injecting her with a second dose that will unlock her 100%, though it will only last for a month. The woman says that from now on, Ja-yoon will need 1 dose of the substance per month in order to survive. The situation takes a turn when Ja-yoon reveals that her true plan was to have that substance in order to be free from her pain.
After receiving the shot, Jae-young's expression drastically changes. She has never lost her memories and has been playing dumb in order to reach the professor. Jae-young purposely showed her talent in the audition to draw the professor's attention. She immediately breaks free and eliminates the man in the interrogation room.
Dr. Beek releases some gas in the room before it's too late, but Ja-yoon manages to hit an exit in the ceiling vents. She gets through to the next room and points toward the doctor.
She tells her that she has never forgotten anything, especially the day they were eliminated. She shoots the professor's leg and forces her to reveal the location where the serums are being kept. Meanwhile, the young man realizes that he has been tricked and immediately heads over to the room. Mr. Choi and his men show up and start shooting at them. The young man is actually the kid that Mr. Choi caught earlier, and he orders his men to aim the head if they want to kill them. The young girl intervenes and starts eliminating all Mr. Choi's remaining men with her knives.
In the commotion, the boy makes his way to where Jae-yoon is, attacking upon finding her. They both trash-talk each other about the night they ran away, and before he can do anything, Jae-yoon charges at the boy, showing her clear superiority. The two have an intense fight, receiving sharp impacts, but with no significant injuries. Jae-yoon ends up throwing the boy through the wall into the control room. She grabs her gun and reshoots the doctor, who was trying to escape across the hall. The boy takes another gun and shoots at Jae-yoon. They both use their telekinetic abilities, but Jae-yoon is still in the lead. Just before taking out the boy,
Mr. Choi appears and shoots her,
who also shoots one of the mysterious young man's colleagues in the head just before she kills the doctor. Dr. B thanks Mr. Choi for saving her, but before she can say something else, Mr. Choi kills her. The boy's colleague manages to get to her feet and lunges at Mr. Choi. The two engage in a rather close fight, but Choi manages to win, only to realize that he has Jae-yoon on his tail.
She outskills him and eventually kills him easily. The young girl attempts to stab her, but she sees that coming and finishes her off. She urges the young man to tell her the location of the research facility, but he refuses to do so, so she shoots him. Jae-yoon takes the serums and burns the laboratory down.
Jae-yoon returns to the farm, which is surrounded with patrols, so she just decides to run away. The next scene shows Mr. Koo next to his unconscious wife in the hospital, sensing the arrival of his daughter.
And hands over the serums to her father. They will slow down the spread of her mother's dementia.
Before leaving, Mr. Koo explains to Jae-yoon that some of their livestock died when she appeared in their lives, so he feared that they were raising a witch. He confesses that he had regretted adopting her,
but her mother is the one who keeps ensuring him that she would grow into a lovely girl one day if they treated her with love. She then leaves.
He tells her to come back early. Myung-hee in the same hospital feels Jae-yoon is near and ruses to the window. They wave to each other. 3 months later, Jae-yoon appears in front of Baek's twin sister, who gives her plenty of serum, but she wants a fundamental solution, which only Baek's twin knows,
demanding her to create a more permanent serum for her.
The woman calls someone else in the room, and Jae-yoon tells this new guest that if she lays a finger on her, she will kill her.